Alice, do you know what day it is tomorrow? Oh my god, I'm so excited! I can't even hold it in. I'm literally walking on cloud nine right now. I'm so beside myself that I can't even find the words to describe it.
Are you asking me to guess?
Sure, of course. I know you're not the brightest crayon in the box, so I'll give you a hint. Tomorrow is a day for our family to come together and celebrate something truly special. A major milestone for all of us.
Honestly, I can't think of anything special. But it is our wedding anniversary with Anthony tomorrow. Are you talking about that?
What? Your wedding anniversary? I couldn't care less about that. What I was trying to say was, your sister-in-law, Lydia, is starting a new job as vice director today. Ta-da! Isn't that the most groundbreaking news of the year? I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. I always knew that my daughter Lydia was a special girl, designed for greatness. In fact, on the night before she was born, I had a dream that I was laying on a bed made of money. I always wondered why that dream felt so real. But now I know. It's because Lydia is going to make me lots and lots of big bucks.
Good for her. But it doesn't make my wedding anniversary any less important, though.
Your wedding anniversary is important? Oh, please, spare me the drama. I'm not sure anyone even remembers that you're married, so stop pretending like you're the center of the universe. I'm still unable to comprehend why Anthony would marry someone like you. You're utterly useless. You're 40 years old and fat, with a body that resembles a school bus. You've already given birth to 2 kids and you barely have a career of your own. I bet the only thing you're good at is lazing around the house all day stuffing snacks in your mouth. Anthony must be miserable being married to you. I'm sure you really want to dig a hole and bury yourself in it whenever you compare yourself to my successful daughter.
Why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror before you go around insulting other people's bodies? I'm not sure if you were just body shaming me or describing yourself. I literally can't tell the difference. I'm not interested in comparing myself to others. I'm happy with who I am and what I have, and don't feel the need to change for anyone, especially if it's only to please you.
What was that attitude, you insolent woman? Well, it's understandable. You're hot-headed because you're so jealous of Lydia. Of course, you wouldn't dare compare yourself to my daughter. I mean, why would you? My daughter Lydia is everything a man could ever want in a woman. She's beautiful, intelligent, and successful. She graduated from NYU as the valedictorian of her class, and she now has a thriving career in finance with a 6-figure salary. She's the envy of everyone around her, and I'm so proud of her. And you? What do you have to show for yourself? A high school diploma? Or a reward for being a freeloader?
Yeah, this sounds just as exciting as the last 100 times I heard about it. Let's get something straight. You're the one who's being a freeloader here, not me. You're not working, and you're relying entirely on your daughter for financial support.
Oh, don't be such a crybaby. I know you're just whining because you're not as successful as my daughter. But don't worry, there's always a place for you in society. Right at the bottom. Anyways, we're having a party tomorrow to celebrate Lydia's promotion. Are you coming or not?
No thanks. I'll pass on the party. I already know how it'll go. It's just a perfect opportunity for you to compare me to Lydia and make me feel like a loser, correct?
Of course. In fact, my speech about how amazing Lydia is and how pathetic you are will be the highlight of the evening. It's always good to have a complimentary contrast to make the star of the party shine even brighter. Don't you think?
Great. Then that's all the more reason for me not to participate in the party. I'm sure you and the other guests will have a great time at the party, even without me.
Oh no. What a shame. I thought the party would be so much more exciting with you being a laughingstock for everyone. But I guess our whole family will just have to have a great time without you. What would you do then? I bet you're just locking yourself up in your room, or sitting in some corner and wallowing in self-pity.
I don't know about you, but I'm sure that Anthony and I will be much happier if we skip the party. We have other important plans, you know.
You're kidding me, right? Anthony isn't coming to Lydia's promotion party? What kind of brother skips out on one of the biggest days of his sister's life? That's unbelievable. What did you whisper in my son's ears to make him turn his back against his own family, you evil witch?
Didn't I just tell you earlier? Me and Anthony have other important plans to tend to, so we can't be there at your daughter's promotion party. Besides, even if we have time to spare, we wouldn't come anyway, simply because we don't feel like it.
Stop manipulating my son into doing your bidding. It's only you who deserves to live a miserable life, not my son himself. If you have any decency, you would let my son go. He needs to find someone who's more worthy of him, not someone like you. Staying together with a worthless woman like you only drags Anthony down, you know that. If you really love and care for Anthony like you always claim, then divorce him. He's better off without you.
What are you talking about? I'm not manipulating anyone. Besides, Anthony has never told me that he wants to leave me for another woman, and I have no reason to believe that he would. We have a good marriage, so I'm not going to give up on it because of your baseless accusations.
It's you! You're the one who turned my son into a fool. I knew you were a bad influence on him, but I never thought you would corrupt him to this extent. He used to be such a wise and intelligent young man, but now he's just a shadow of his former self. It's all your fault. I knew my son was making a mistake when he married you. You're nothing but a gold digger, and you've only been using him for his money. You've turned him against me, and you've cut me out of his life.
I did none of what you just said. Anthony has always been his own person, and he makes his decisions based on what he believes is right. I have never tried to influence him, and I have no control over his actions. What you're saying is simply groundless and plain malicious.
Anthony completely ignored my warnings about your devilish personality. He even announced in front of the whole family that he was cutting ties with me and had the audacity to exclude me from his wedding. Even after all this time, he still finds a million excuses to avoid having any contact with me. What spell did you cast on my son? You've completely brainwashed him. I never saw him being so rebellious until he met you.
It's no wonder Anthony treats you the way he does. You've been nothing but rude and condescending to me from the moment we met. You deserve everything you get.
What? What did I ever do wrong?
Seriously? You still have the nerve to ask me that question? You've done everything you can to hurt me, from making personal attacks on my appearance and career to sabotaging my marriage to Anthony. Anthony knows it all, and he isn't hesitant to stand up against you.
Even if I did do something that seems wrong, it was all because I wanted to protect my poor son from a manipulative liar like you. It seems like Lydia is the only child who proves to be worthy of my investments. Oh well. We don't need people like you and Anthony in our lives. We couldn't care less if you disappear completely. In fact, me and Lydia will be much better off without you. And if you ever come crawling back to us begging for money, we laugh in your face. Understood? I can't believe how lucky I am to have such a luxurious lifestyle. I have everything I could ever want, from designer clothes to expensive jewelry. I eat at the finest restaurants and get pampered at the best spas. I'm living the dream. My generous daughter, Lydia, showers me with gifts all the time. I think I'm running out of room in this house for all the presents. I might even have to ask her to buy me a bigger house for my 57th birthday. I feel like the happiest mother in the world, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
And why are you telling me this? Don't you have anyone else you can brag to? Well, it's easy to understand though. With your personality, I'm surprised if anyone would ever want to associate with you.
What's with that attitude? We haven't talked in a few months and you're already being rude and disrespectful. I guess that's the real you, huh? A nasty two-faced person? What a devil in human form. I should have known you were trouble from the start. I should have done everything in my power to keep a monster like you away from Anthony.
I don't have two faces. I'm just being myself. If you don't like the way I am, then that's your problem, not mine. If anyone here is a devil in disguise, it's you. You're using your daughter for your own personal gain. She's not a walking ATM, and you don't have a right to take her money. The money you're spending on frivolous things doesn't come from nowhere, and it's not endless. It's Lydia's hard-earned money.
Ha! Lydia's my daughter, and I'm her mother. I know what's best for her, and I don't need your input. You're just a nosy stranger. You don't know anything about Lydia. A useless woman like you should know your place and back off. I won't go easy on you this time, like I did the last time we met.
Look, if this is all you have to say, then you can save your breath. I'm not interested in hearing any of your meaningless words. I'm just gonna end our conversation here and block you.
Wait, don't block me. I have something important to tell you, and I know you'll want to hear it. I promise it won't take long, just give me a chance.
And what could possibly be so important this time? Let me guess. Lydia got a pay raise. Or maybe she bought you a supercar.
A supercar? I didn't think of it. Well, thanks for the suggestion. I'll be sure to add it to my Christmas list. I can't wait to get it. You're half right. Lydia just got her pay rise, but that's not all. She's also taking me on a luxury trip to Maui. Hawaii! Surprise! Of course, we're going to stay at one of the most luxurious resorts in Maui, rent a classic Porsche, and cruise around the island in style. We'll enjoy the sunset on a private yacht and savor the finest cuisine that Maui has to offer. I'm also planning to book a private chef who can cook anything I want. I bet you and your husband are too busy counting your pennies to even think about taking a luxury trip, correct?
So this is what you consider to be important? I'm sick of hearing about how you're gonna blow your daughter's money on your own selfish desires. Don't you have anything better to talk about?
Oh, don't get so upset and offended like that. I'm saying all of this with good intentions, you know? Lydia and I have decided to invite you and Anthony on a trip to Maui. So, what do you think? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so you'd better not say no.
Oh, please. Do you think I'm stupid or what? I know what you're up to, Camila. You think you can just invite me to do something and I'll fall for it? Whatever you do, you just want to humiliate me, walk all over me, and take advantage of me. Well, it's not going to happen. I'm not your pawn. You're welcome to enjoy that trip to Hawaii as much as you want. My husband and I have better things to do with our time.
What? Only savages would use that ill-mannered behavior to speak with other people. Excuse me for trying to be nice and get along with you, but you're just too close-minded, conservative, and vindictive for your own good. Well, suit yourself. My daughter and I will be enjoying the beautiful beaches of Maui next month, but you're welcome to stay home and sulk if you like. Just don't blame us for not inviting you.
Well, even if we wanted to go with you and Lydia, we can't because Anthony and I have already planned a trip to Switzerland for the entire next month.
What? Are you being serious? You and Anthony are going to Switzerland next month? No way. How did you even manage to pull that off? You're just lying to make yourself look good. I guess you made that story up to conceal your jealousy of Lydia's wealth and the way she showers me with gifts. Wow. You're such a convincing liar. I almost believed you for a second, but then I remembered that you're broke as a joke. There's no way you could afford a trip to Switzerland.
Why so? I have nothing to gain by lying about going on a vacation trip with my family. In fact, Anthony and I have been planning this trip for months. And we've already booked the flights, the hotel, and made a detailed itinerary. Our kids are also excited to come with us. I don't know why you'd think I would make all of this up.
But it just doesn't add up. Taking your whole family to Switzerland must cost a fortune. How are you gonna finance a trip to Switzerland on your husband's pathetic income? Especially you. You're just a freeloader who stays at home all day and does nothing. How could you possibly afford a trip to Switzerland? Tell me, how much money do you actually make in a month?
I'm not obliged to answer any of your questions. Just mind your own business.
Yada yada, Switzerland, huh? Fine. Then I'll get myself a trip to Switzerland. See who's better. Alice, guess where I am right now? Switzerland! Ugh, I'm so glad I decided to come here. It's even better than I imagined. The air is so fresh. The views are incredible. And the food is to die for. I can't believe I'm actually here. I suppose you and your husband have a good taste in tourist destinations. Switzerland is quite the place to enjoy a relaxing and luxurious vacation.
Ugh! You again?
What? You don't seem too thrilled to hear from me. Have I done something to offend you? Anyways, Lydia and I are having the most amazing dinner at a 3 Michelin-starred restaurant. It's so exclusive, you probably haven't even heard of it. The food is incredible and the service is impeccable and the atmosphere is simply divine. I know you're green with envy right now, but don't worry. I'll send you a picture of my dessert. It's a chocolate mousse with raspberry coulis. And it's absolutely a symphony of flavors.
Didn't I tell you not to disturb me? You seriously don't know when to quit, do you?
How dare you speak to me that way, you disrespectful little brat? I'm still your mother-in-law, for heaven's sake. Ugh! Take a deep breath, Camilla. You're a lady now, and ladies don't let things like this get to them. Remember, you're above all this. This is not worth your time or your energy. I know your parents didn't raise you well, but at least have some respect for the elders. I swear, if this was the old days, uneducated women like you would have been left to rot in the woods alone.
Just cut to the chase and tell me, what do you want this time?
Look, I just wanted to announce to you that I'm now currently in Switzerland. That's all. No need to get so worked up like that.
But I thought you were supposed to be in Hawaii. Last time I checked, you told me you were going on a trip there, and now you're telling me you're in Switzerland? What's with the sudden change of plans?
We were planning to go to Hawaii, but I thought it was such a tacky and boring place. I mean, really, what's the point of going to a place where all you can do is lie on the beach and drink Mai Tais? Lydia and I decided to go to Switzerland instead, and it was the best decision we ever made. Switzerland is a place for cultured and sophisticated travelers, not for the likes of you.
You're a cultured and sophisticated traveler? That's a good one. I've heard better jokes from a drunk clown.
Huh, so where are you and your husband now? I bet you're all crammed in some tiny, dingy hotel room, eating moldy bread and pretending like you're not completely broke. Seriously, why would you even choose Switzerland if you didn't have enough money? It's one of the most expensive countries in the world. But I guess you just had to prove that you were better than me, didn't you? Well, this is what you get.
For your information, our whole family is staying at the Dolder Grand, not some Fleabag hotel as you implied.
Wait, what? The Dolder Grand? Is that the famous 5-star hotel located on a hilltop overlooking Zurich? Is it the same one that also has a Michelin-starred restaurant and a spa with a panoramic view? No way. It can't be true. You must be joking with me. A freeloader like you must have won the lottery or robbed the bank to be able to afford to stay there.
I'm tired of you always assuming that my husband and I are poor. For your information, I run a successful online business that generates 6-figure income per year, and my husband also has a good job. That's why we're not struggling financially. More like the opposite. Just because we don't flaunt our wealth doesn't mean we don't have it. So stop calling me a freeloader, because you're only making fun of yourself when you do that.
What? You own a successful online business that generates 6-figure income? Then what happens to the worthless housewife I know? Stop bluffing. We all know that you and your husband are the lowest of the low class. You've always been poor, and you've only gotten poorer since you had kids. That's why Lydia didn't follow in Anthony's footsteps. She's much too smart for that. She knows that getting married and having kids at a young age would only hold her back from her career. She's got a bright future ahead of her, and she's not going to let anything get in her way. I'm so proud of Lydia. She's such a good daughter. She didn't waste any of my time at all, unlike her useless brother Anthony.
How dare you belittle Anthony like that? He's my husband and your own son. You should be ashamed of yourself for saying such cruel things to him. I can't believe that there are still mothers like you in the world. You're supposed to love and support your children, not tear them down. I don't have time to argue with you. You're only getting on my nerves. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your trip. I'm going to spend time with my family, and I don't want to engage in this meaningless conversation with you anymore.
Alice, I'm positively delighted with the atmosphere in this restaurant. The food and decor are superb, and the live band is such a lovely touch. However, if I'm being perfectly honest, I find the food portions to be a bit meager. I'm sure they're trying to keep up their high-end image, but I think they could afford to be a bit more generous with their portions. What do you think? But of course, we can't complain too much. After all, this is a fine dining establishment. One simply does not expect generous portions at these sorts of places. As the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. I suppose we'll just have to learn to adjust our expectations when dining out at such establishments.
Look, I've told you repeatedly that I don't want to be disturbed. Why do you keep bombarding me with texts and calls? Are you just deliberately ignoring my warnings? I need to spend time with my family, and I don't want to be interrupted by your constant messages.
I know, I just want to kill some time. It's been quite a few hours since Lydia left to go to the restroom and she hasn't come back yet. Anyways, she must be back in a minute or two, so I'm not too concerned. Okay, let's pick up where we left off. Where were we? Oh yes, I remember. I was just complimenting the delicious food and the wonderful music. Everything just adds up to the perfect dinner.
Oh my god. I was keeping myself from bursting into laughter this whole time, but now I can't hold it in anymore. You are truly stupid, Camila. No wonder no one would want to have any association with you.
Pardon me? What are you talking about? And how dare you laugh at me? That's a bit rude, you know. And I certainly don't like this sudden change of attitude.
Fine, let me break it to you. Lydia is gone, and she's not coming back to the restaurant to pick you up. You're all alone now, so you have to figure everything out by yourself.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean? You're kidding me, right? Tell me you're joking.
I don't have time or energy to joke with you. I'm being dead serious. From now on, you're all by yourself. So stop thinking about exploiting Lydia any longer. She's not your personal ATM, and she's had enough of your greediness. It's time for you to wake up, face the reality, and take responsibility for your actions. Neither me, Anthony, or Lydia will be there to help you anymore. It's time for you to grow up and take care of yourself.
But what is going on right now? I seriously don't understand. Can you just explain to me what's happening? I don't even know what I did wrong.
What is so difficult to understand? You've been exploiting your own daughter, Lydia, for your own benefit. You manipulated her into working overtime, controlled her phone and other means of contact to make sure she wasn't engaged in any romantic relationships. Also, she could focus on working night and day to make as much money for you as possible. You pretend to care about Lydia, but in reality, you only care about her money. The only thing that's going through your head is how you can take advantage of Lydia's hard work for your own gain. Lydia was scared, but she gathered all of her courage and told me everything. You're a monster in disguise, and you're not fit to be a mother. In fact, you deserve to rot in jail for what you did to your own children.
What are you talking about? Lydia is just being a good daughter, like she always has been. We're always on the same page and she's always done what I've asked her to. When I told her to get good grades in school, she did. When I told her what university I wanted her to go to, she applied only there and got accepted. Before she graduated, I told her what kind of job I wanted her to get, and that's the type of job she found. And now that she's successful, she's just returning the favor and paying me back for everything I've done for her.
She only listened to you because she knew you'd make her life miserable if she didn't. In fact, she resents you every day for controlling her life so much.
Who are you to judge? Lydia is my good daughter, and she's not like her rebellious brother Anthony. She willingly listens to what I tell her. I know my daughter better than anyone.
You think you can still defend yourself for your crime? Nice try, but you're not fooling anyone anymore. Your mask has already fallen off, and now you can't do anything but admit to your sins. You're all alone now. No one will be there to help you anymore. Have fun finding your way home.
Is Lydia seriously gonna abandon me here all by myself? I don't deserve this. I have no money, no nothing. I don't even remember the way back to the hotel. And how am I gonna pay for this gourmet meal? It cost like a couple of $1,000s.
Well, you were the one who insisted on eating at that restaurant, weren't you? You're always so demanding, and I bet you thought Lydia would always be there to pay for the bill, no matter how much it costs. Well, she's not here anymore, so you're going to have to learn to live independently. No one is going to bill you out anymore.
Why is this fair to me? Lydia is just as much of a devil as her brother. She doesn't even realize how much I've helped her. I'm the one who made her successful. I gave birth to her. I paid for her college tuition. And I sacrificed my whole life for her. So why can't I have something in return?
Lydia is too nice for her own good, and you're just too evil to be a mother. You guilt-tripped her into thinking that she owed you for raising her, and you manipulated her into staying by your side. But Lydia doesn't owe you anything. She's an adult now, and she has the right to live her own life on her own terms.
Do you have any idea what you're talking about? Lydia owes me her life. Do you even know what I did for Lydia when she was a kid? She was in a terrible accident and lost a lot of blood. I donated blood to her and it saved her life. In other words, I gave Lydia her life, not once, but twice. That's why she should pay me back for what I did and show me her gratitude instead of betraying me like a snake in the grass. Where is she now? Are you able to get in touch with her? I can't even call her phone number.
Let me make this clear. Lydia doesn't owe you anything. You keep bringing up this good deed you did for her, but we barely remember it. And even if we did, it doesn't mean she owes you her life. She's an adult now, and she can make her own decisions. Besides, I think Lydia has paid you back more than enough. You've been using her hard-earned money for all these years, right? Well, she's finally had enough. She's moved out of the hotel and is now with my family. We're enjoying our trip together, and she's much happier now. So please, stop trying to guilt trip her. She doesn't owe you anything.
But, what am I supposed to do now? How can I pay for the meal and the hotel?
I don't know. That's your problem. You're a grown adult, so you should be able to figure it out yourself. I'm sure you're clever enough to come up with something.
No, please. You and Lydia can't do this to me. I'm your mother-in-law, and I'm begging you to help me. I promise I'll change my ways. I'll treat you and Lydia with respect, and I'll never touch Lydia's money again. I'm a changed person now. I've shed my old skin and become a new person. Please help me. I can't pay the bill for the meal I just ate. The waiters are staring at me and I don't know what to do. This is really embarrassing.
Don't make me laugh. You can't change your rotten personality just like that. From today onward, you're on your own. We don't want anything to do with you anymore. All you ever cared about is money and social status. I'm sick of dealing with a narcissistic and manipulative mother-in-law like you. In fact, I regret ever having called you my mother-in-law. Goodbye, and never let me hear from you again. Do whatever you can to help yourself, because we're out. Camila didn't bring any money with her, so she was forced to wash stack after stack of dishes to pay for her meal. Luckily for her, she had some valuable jewelry that she could sell to pay for the hotel stay and a flight ticket back to her home country. Camila returned home to find that Lydia had already put up the house for sale. She was forced to move out and rent a rundown apartment on a meager salary. She couldn't even afford that, and the landlord kicked her out. With nowhere else to go, she was forced to live on the streets, sleeping on park benches and eating out of trash cans. Lydia's career is booming, with more and more successes. She feels more liberated than ever before, now that she can live for herself. She eventually found the love of her life, John. Lydia, Anthony, and I are all doing well now that we are no longer under the thumb of Camila, my evil mother-in-law.